and for how to say, not for war. It was always a good one. That means perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems if you were a godlike being, that you would have the attributes of God, and having my own experience with that and drowning and crossing over and experiencing that plane of bliss, I would assume that anybody who was in contact with that would emulate that, here on this physical level. And, they wouldn't be these jealous, wrathful tyrants or these controlling, manipulating gods. And that's a whole other story, that any highly advanced being would be more in touch with that pure love and joy and bliss of the highest vibrations, the highest frequencies. So I think we've had a lot of tinkering in the past, a lot of beings coming here, passing themselves off as gods, and some were benevolent, and some might have been a little self-serving.
Yeah.
So it depends on which one you want to focus on.
Yeah. But what I also found out that, and I think personally that the evolution, Darwin and this story, there are so many missing links. If you take, for example, the stones of Ica ore in Colombia, they found a human hand and a human foot, bones of a human hand and a human foot, fossiled in a stone plate, which geological dating is around 120 to 140 million years. And in the same area, they found petrified fruits, vegetable, but cultivated fruits, vegetable, petrified. That means we are talking about a civilization millions and millions of years ago. So that means what has that to do with evolution?
Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make sense. I know they haven't found the missing link yet. They keep saying they have, and then it turns out wrong. But, if you read the ancient texts about the Sumerian texts about the Anunnaki and those who came from heaven to earth, and I do believe there was a human evolving here naturally. There was more of a knuckle dragger, and they took those genetics and jumped them up with their genetics. And it's my theory is that we're just this big galactic soup down here. There's not just one Star Nation race. We're a product of many different Star Nations of genetics and a natural human that was evolving here as well.
But that's exactly what Michael Cremo is also saying with his researches. He did great researches also. I mean, Anunnakis, they are talking about 300, 400,000 years, but there is approval of millions and millions of years. Mm-hmm. I mean, Anunnaki might be one story, but Earth had many, many, many other stories, I think, personally.
Yeah, I felt the same. I've always tried to get past that. I go, well, that's only 400,000 years. We're talking millions and millions of years that, these artifacts are showing up. So obviously that is just one phase that the Earth went through. I think there was many phases and many colonization programs that happened, way before that.
Yeah, but, I think so too. And there are other pieces like Dr. Bowen in Glen Rose Creation Evidence Museum. He lent me 8 artifacts also for the exhibition 2001 in Vienna. There is the iron pot which was found inside the coal. The coal in this area is dated around 60 to 65 million years. How comes an iron pot inside this coal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I know they found gold chains and lumps of coal and
yes,
ornate jewelry, just all kinds of things. They keep finding them deeper and deeper and deeper, and that would go under that theory that there has been some extreme upheavals of land, and I've always felt the Earth is always recycling itself. The plates are always going underneath each other, and new plates forming. And if you go back that many millions of years, a lot of our most ancient ancestors are probably being recycled as molten rock right now.
Yeah. It's so interesting going into the history, into humans and Earth history. And always new artifacts are showing up, and extremely in the last 10 years. Every week, every month, you get information about new findings, and some of the television stations now are bringing documentations which 10 years ago they never ever would have shown. So I think there is a changing now going on also in information to the people, and especially through programs like yours and informations. Giving informations means receiving informations, and I'm always willing to give informations because that's the only way that I get, again, new informations. And every piece, I always say, every piece of those artifacts is a kind of a little puzzle. And only if you put them all together, you might be able to get once a real picture about our past.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I've seen in so many different communities, the archaeological community, the UFO community, scientific community, everybody has a piece of the puzzle, and they all think, and they write a book about it, and they say, this is it, this is the truth, and it's a truth, it's not the truth. And if you put all of the truths together and start looking at the big picture, then you know what's going on. But they seem to have just a lot of pride and ego and jealousy going on, and don't know how to cooperate and seek out the ultimate truth, which means sometimes you might have to set your program aside a little bit for a bigger story.
But this is not only concerning the past. If you take a specialist for Egyptian history, archaeology, he would never be really interested in South American archaeology, but I think it would be very, very necessary to cooperate, because why they found in Egyptian mummies coca and tabak, meaning coca only existed and exists in the Andes. Either there must have been contact over between the continents, or the question is how came the coca and tabak to Egyptian mummies?
Yeah, it is interesting. I know they found mummies in Russia, and they've been finding them everywhere.
The oldest until now they found in Chile. They found 2000 in the year 2000. They found 76 mummies in very good condition in the driest desert, in the Atacama Desert, and the age dating is 7,000 to 9,000 years. That means would be older than the oldest Egyptian mummy. And the DNA they found out is the same DNA like the Ainu in the north of Japan, in Hokkaido, living Ainus, the same DNA. How comes that? And you have in Yonaguni, you have a huge stone monuments under the sea level, and the Jomon culture, the oldest Japanese culture, up to 6,000 years, their ceramic is very similar to the oldest South American ceramic, the Valdivia. I mean, there are so many similarities, and this is very important, to look from different sides to all those artifacts.
Yeah, we just found something that's quite interesting that it's going to take some research. It's probably going to have to wait till spring because it's already starting to, we're going into some weather right now, but on the top of our mountain up here, we were flying around it yesterday, and we zoomed in on this area that's actually never hardly been melted off before, but due to this global warming, I guess it's supposedly not happening. We've lost this whole glacier in this other area on the mountain. And we went around and we flew around this one area, and it looked like a giant Buddha was carved. And it's way up towards the top. It's probably, 11,000 feet or more. And it's an area that's never been exposed for a very long time. So I think we're going to try to climb up there and find out what's...
that would be interesting, yes.
Yeah,
they found also in the Andes, in very high area, around 5,500 meters, they found many rooms inside the mountain where people lived. But the question is, how many thousand years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Always in high regions or Tibet. I received photos from Professor Muldashev from Russia. They show around the Mount Kailash 4 human half portraits in the mountain encarved, and those 4 human half portraits, everyone is 700 meters.
Wow.
Who could do such tremendous, huge encarvings in a mountain?
Yeah, that's beyond. I mean, I don't know what kind of technology you'd have to. You definitely didn't do it with stones and hammers.
Yeah, it's impossible. Definitely impossible. Or the other one in Guinea-Conakry, Western Africa, close to the Mali border. I got photos from the Italian geologist, Professor Pittoni, of a half portrait in granite mountain of a lady from top until around the stomach, the height of 150 meters in granite. So who could have done this work? And it's not a black African face. Some specialists told me upon the photo, either South American or Asian lady in Western Africa, 150 meters. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it seems if you get into the most ancient traditions, it's not a patriarchal system; it's a matriarchal system, and the divine feminine in different aspects of it, Kuan Yin or things of that nature, were worshipped, much more than the little old man with a beard, and the laptop and the lightning bolts, up there that are running around here today. What would you think what was the most shocking thing, let's say, that you've experienced that actually maybe really made you shake your head and go, what the heck is this?
Oh, there are many. There are many. I mean, shocked, not real. I was once shocked through energy in the exhibition room that when one security showcase exploded.
Wow.
Just because of a joke, and that was really amazing. And it was B2, and on B1 was the security man with his dog, and we were 4 of us, and the explosion was like a cannon shot, and of course we were shocked, and we ran up, and the guardman asked what happened. I said, didn't you hear that a security showcase exploded? And he was smiling, and he said, Mr. Dona, my dog in the nighttime when the wood is working downstairs, he's running down like a rocket. He didn't even move a little bit. That means, how could that have been an explosion in a one floor down, open stairs, and the dog and the guardman didn't hear, and for us it was like a cannon shot.
Yeah,
that was really shocking.
Yeah.
But strange moments I had a lot in the last